Ladies and gentlemen, hey, hi, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. The rifle meta here in Warzone 2 Season 2 is definitely one of the more competitive categories that we have right now. There are a lot of very solid, very close options in terms of their overall TTK, their versatility, so on and so forth. And today, wanted to break down the top 5 best rifles we currently have in game, starting at number 5 here with the Chimera. Personally, one of my favorite rifles in the game. Only reason it's not a bit higher up on this list is because this is relatively limited in what it can do. Now, what it is good at, it is very good at, and that is close to mid-range. This thing is outgunning SMGs, all other rifles close range. Like, it is the perfect AR SMG hybrid style weapon. Just, you know, over range 40, 50, 60 meters and beyond, it's not going to be as competitive as 4, 3, 2, and 1 on this list, right? But for mid to close range, this thing dominates. This setup you guys have seen a couple of times now because it is just so good, whether it's for sniper support, whether it's just for super aggressive gameplay. I got the Bruin flash rear grip on here. It's going to help out the mobility. I tuned for an even better sprint to fire just to make it even more aggressive, and also some better recoil steadiness just to keep it, you know, usable in some of the mid-range fights. 45 round mag is your basic extended mag, great for duos, trios, and quads. We got the Edge 47 underbarrel for the better stabilization, just to kind of help out with that recoil a little bit. Then I actually tuned for the better mobility here, so I'm getting good control and some decent mobility stats out of this all in one. Sack and Tread 40 muzzle is just something I have specifically for some of those mid-range fights, you know, 20, 30, 40 meters, where it might be a little bit more shaky because we are going for mobility in a lot of cases. So this kind of balances that out. I go for better gun kit control and stabilization there. Then I also go for the Vorpal barrel, which I love on this setup because it's going to help out with your range and your movement and your ADS, which is like the best of all worlds, right? And I tune for the better steadiness and damage range just to enhance that a little bit more. You could also, though, tune for the better mobility on this as well if you wanted to kind of have the choice to yourself there, all personal preference based. But yeah, the Chimera right now, absolutely a top tier rifle. Now at number 4, I've got the M13, another weapon that I've really been enjoying as of late. The downside to this, though, is that with the Season 2 update, it got a buff which helps its mid-range some, but it ended up hurting its long range a bit, which is a bit unfortunate. The thing with this is, though, it is a fantastic rifle in terms of TTK, damage over range, all that, so long as you're hitting the upper part of the body, the upper torso, the neck, the head. If you are consistently landing shots there, which is relatively easy to do with this, it's a very easy gun to use in terms of control, it's going to fry. But once you start getting lower stomach shots, leg shots, limb shots, that's what really hurts the TTK here with that combination of realistic TTK. So that's why it's no longer like the number 2 TTK rifle, but overall still a fantastic choice. Like I said, very easy to use, great for mid to long range in my opinion. AMOV V4 for my optic here. You could always go for whatever optic you prefer more, though, if there is one out there. I tune for the furthest eye position and faster ADS on all my optics per usual. 60 round extended mag is a sort of a must-have for the fire rate here, so you're not running out of ammo too quickly. High velocity ammo, of course, is clutch for that better velocity over long range. You pretty much need this on all rifle builds, if I'm being honest. I tune for the even better velocity and better damage range on that. Sack and Tread 40 muzzle, again, for that better control over range, going to make it even easier to shoot. Same tunes here, better gun kick control and stabilization. And then lastly, I go for the Echelon barrel just for the better range, velocity, and control add-ons this has. Again, we're tuning to maximize those basically with the better range and steadiness. Very straightforward, very reliable gun right now. The damage per mag could be a bit better, but overall it is going to be a top tier choice. Now at number 3, I've got the Kasotv 7.62, and as we've talked about lately, in terms of pure power, this is the rifle. It is by far the heaviest hitting rifle and has basically what is the equivalent of the best TTK over range. However, this does have a little bit more noticeable recoil than some of the other rifle options. It does bounce around a little bit. It also caught that slight nerf with Season 2, so that brings it down a little bit. But overall, this is still holding its own. Once you land your shots with the 7.62, thing is going to be beefy. The thing is still going to erase enemies with how fast this TTK is, right? It's just not nearly as dominant as it was back during Season 1. Here, though, again, pretty basic setup. AMOV V4, furthest eye position, faster ADS on the tunes, no surprise there, right? We got the Demo X2 rear grip. We're going for the better steadiness and stability on the tunes there. It's going to give us that better general control, which of course is huge here as mentioned. 40 round mag, pretty basic extended mag. High velocity ammo yet again, just for that consistency over mid to long range. We're tuning for the better velocity and better damage range here per usual. And then lastly, I go for the Sack and Tread 40. I don't really love the barrels in this case just because they're not going to give you crazy stats. I'd rather just have the better control here. That way, you know, even though a barrel could give me slightly better range or slightly better velocity, that's not going to matter if you're not hitting your shots, right? So Sack and Tread 40 gives me the ability to do that. Better gun kick control stabilization here once more. Like I said, after you get the pattern down and you can master this gun's control, when you're landing your shots, it's going to delete players. Now, as we move on into the top two, quick reminder here, if you guys are new to the channel, every single day I got you covered with all things going on in COD, and we are on the road to 1 million subs. So if you want to stay up to date with everything and also join the family, feel free to hit that subscribe button and turn on those post notifications. Also, if you guys enjoy this video or if you find it helpful at all, let me know by dropping a like on it. Would be really appreciated, and it does really help the channel grow. Now, at number 2, I've got the TAC 56. Now, in comparison, you know, on paper, the TTK of the TAC 56 is going to be more similar to the M13s. Nothing crazy, but not bad whatsoever. It's going to be a bit slower than the 7.62s, but what this has going for it is just how easy the TAC 56 is to use. I mean, especially with this build here, so straightforward, so simple. The recoil is almost non-existent. It is one of the easiest guns to use in the entire game over range, which obviously is huge. You're gonna have a better realistic TTK with a gun that's got a decent TTK and incredible control versus a gun with a crazy fast TTK and terrible control, right? So here I'm going for basically control and range, essentially, if you will. Don't need an optic here. I love the iron sights, and they're super clean and visible over long range, which is a nice added benefit. I go for the combat rear grip, helping with control. Like I said, this entire build is really focusing on that to make it as easy as possible. Better steadiness and stability on those tunes. 40 round extended mag. You could also go 60. It's just going to be a tad bit slower, so that's totally up to you. High velocity ammo yet again. Better range, better velocity on the tunes there. Pretty straightforward. Edge 47 underbarrel for that better stability. The recoil stabilization there is so clutch over range. Better stability and stabilization on that tune. Then lastly, I go for the Echoless 80 suppressor in this case. I don't feel like you need to have another compensator here. All those other attachments are already doing so much for control. You might as well get the better range and velocity out of this with pretty minimal cons compared to the other suppressors. Better velocity and ADS on the tunes there. One of my favorite guns, one of my favorite builds in the game right now by far. And then to wrap things up at number 1, I've got the Hemlock, our brand new rifle here for season 2. This thing's long range TTK is actually right there with the Kasotv 7.62. We've talked about it previously, how it's basically tied for the best TTK out of the rifles, but it's a million times easier to use than the Kasotv 7.62. So better TTK than the TAC, just as easy to use. This is the clear number 1 choice in the rifle category right now. You got a couple of different ways you could actually build this if you wanted to test out a couple of builds. So AMOT V4, pretty standard, furthest eye position, faster ADS as always, 45 round extended mag, and high velocity ammo, tuning for the better range and better velocity on this. Those are the 3 attachments I wouldn't really change in a build. If you want to go all out control and make this thing as easy to use as possible, go with the Sack and Tread 40 Edge 47 underbarrel. Same tunes here, basically better stabilization in general, but then you're gonna tune to enhance that even more alongside the idle stability. And for the Sack and Tread 40, again, pretty basic. It's gonna give us that better control all around, and I'm tuning to maximize that as well. Now, this is no recoil, super easy. If you wanted to enhance the range a little bit more, you could definitely either swap out the muzzle or the underbarrel for the 3056 barrel or the Fielder T50 barrel. This makes it look a lot like the Grau from MW 2019, which I love, but both of these are going to be great for range and velocity. This one, the Fielder, does also help out with control. It's going to have a few more cons, but you know, that's sort of the price you pay. So both of those are great options as well. If you wanted to swap out one of these and see how it feels, there's a lot of preference into, you know, exactly how you want this gun to perform. This is a build that I find works great for mid to long range just because I can land pretty much all my shots considering how easy it is to shoot. And that being said, those are the top 5 rifles in Warzone 2 Season 2 right now, and that's going to wrap things up. If you guys enjoyed the video, let me know by dropping a like on it. And if you're new here, feel free to hit that subscribe button, turn on those post notifications to always know whenever I post a new video. But once again, thank you so much for tuning in. And until next time, take it easy, have an awesome rest of your day, and I will catch you guys later. Peace out.